Good morning, YouTube. Matt and Roy back once again. Well. Trying something a little different here, folks. Doing an early morning live stream, and I'm going to go ahead and try this new camera angle, though I think what we're going to try to do... Hang on a second. It's about as high as I can get it. We're going to do it right here. All right, so hope everybody is doing well this morning. If you haven't had a chance to see it, I did upload yesterday's vlog this morning, and I botched the end of it. Normally, I have a edited end screen, shows a picture of generally what I have as the photo in the beginning, telling you what it's about, and then you have links to click to my other videos or subscribe to the channel. Well, YouTube has changed up the way you upload videos. They've actually totally revamped the way the end screen looks. And for some reason, it didn't take. So what you're actually going to see at the end of that particular vlog is basically the last few seconds where I turn the camera off is where you're going to see the places where you can click for my best video for that my particular user, or just click to subscribe. So I'm going to get used to it. I don't know what's going on there. They keep changing this. It's driving me up the wall. They keep changing the design of the uploads. And it's just really a pain because you get used to doing it one way. Your mind gets focused on how to do it. You can do it quickly and easily. Then all of a sudden, they change it up on you. So hopefully the next one will actually be uploaded properly. You guys may be able to hear that it is raining outside this morning. They only predicted like a 25% chance of rain. But it looks like we are getting it, so hopefully that won't be all day long, because I really want to get a bike ride in, folks. I have not been on my bike in near probably a month now because the weather just hasn't cooperated. It's either been raining or it's been way too cold. And of course, with my lower back being acting up lately, I haven't been able to do it anyway. So hopefully I'll be able to get something in today. So we're going to start this with some fairly local news. I mean, I think it goes to other states too, but you need to make sure you get the real ID. Now, a lot of news media have been talking about this. For security reasons, especially if you're going to be flying, your current driver's license is not good enough anymore. You have to get what's called the real ID, and basically that just proves you are who you are. Now, I have no idea why they need that versus your regular driver's license, but apparently it has a star on the bottom right, at least here in the state of Virginia. And that proves it is what they call a real ID. So Mom, Dad, and I were all going to go to the DMV this morning, probably have to wait in line for 2 hours, which is very typical with the DMV. And we're going to go get our quote-unquote real IDs this morning. 2 watching, 3 likes is because you was logged in my other account. Thank you, I386. I appreciate that. But if you guys get a chance, check out the vlog video from yesterday. It was a little bit shorter than I would have hoped. I had it originally at 17 minutes, and I think it wound up being like 15 and a half, and that's because I edited out a big section where I thought Milo was doing something really cute. He looked like he was going to go chase the birds in the window, but at the end, he just really didn't do anything. So I did get down to some of the thrift stores yesterday, and if you look at that vlog, I did actually film in one of the thrift stores. Believe it or not, they weren't playing music at the time. It was like in a commercial break, so I went ahead and filmed a little bit in the electronics section. Though in my area, they're very weird about that. If you film in the thrift store at all, and they catch you, they will kick you out. So I have to be very stealthy about it. I need to kind of hide because I use my cell phone. I don't have any hidden cameras or anything like that. Probably should invest in one. But I have to use my cell phone, and I kind of keep it near my chest, and I kind of hide what I'm doing, trying not to look too conspicuous. So if I do get a chance to do that again in the future, I will, because a lot of you have told me you really enjoy seeing the kind of items that I pick up at the thrift stores. But I am not going to spill the beans. You'll have to watch the vlog video. Turn this headset down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, yeah, you can get glasses with cameras. That's something else I should consider because I don't actually have to wear these all the time. I really don't even need to wear them now. I'm just so used to it, and I kind of like the way my face looks with glasses on, so I just kind of wear them anyway. All right, so I will show you one item that I picked up at the this was at Best Thrift in Norfolk, and I actually got 5 of these. And they're actually really, really cool. It actually came with 5 of these and 1 hard drive, which wound up being bad. I was a little bummed out about that. But for the $10 I paid, it was in an entire little plastic bag that they put it in together, and they put everything for $10. And what this actually is, it's a 2.5-inch to 3.5-inch SATA hard drive adapter. Now, this will work with laptop drives and desktop. Laptop drives as well as SSDs. So basically, the 2.5-inch SSDs that almost all of them are that you would normally have trouble putting in a regular desktop. You can go ahead and plug your SSD into the SATA port here. Basically, it plugs in here. And the one thing I do like is if you look, you got the 4 screw holes right there, 2 there, 2 there. And you also have some points here for double-sided foam mounting tape. So you pretty much get a really solid connection. So what you do is you plug in your 2.5-inch drive here. Then it just becomes literally like a 3.5-inch desktop drive. It's the same format. It even has all the same screw holes. These things are awesome to have. And I wound up getting 5 of these for $10. And I think that was a really good deal. And these are solid metal. And they are put out apparently by Western Digital. You can see the WD right there in the top middle. I haven't tried them out yet, though I have used these in the past, and they are really expensive if you have to buy them new. Basically, because these are server-grade drives. These would have probably been used in something like a Dell PowerEdge or an HP. I can't think of the name of the HP, but like an IBM Blade server, something like that. And the cool thing about these, the thing I really like is these will accommodate the Dell Optiplex proprietary hard drive caddy. So if you guys are trying to upgrade your Dell Optiplex or even some of the Dell Dimension series that use these blue proprietary hard drive caddies, if you want to use an SSD, all you have to do is put your SSD in there, put this on basically, and then stick it in the system, and bam, you have a 3.5-inch drive made from a 2.5-inch drive. And again, it works with conventional laptop drives and SSDs. So great pickup there. If I go back next week and I see those, I'm going to be getting them again because it's really worth getting. They are very expensive online. And the ones you can get in the stores like at Best Buy, really cheap pot metal. A lot of times the screw holes don't line up, and those won't accommodate these. Because the actual screw holes aren't perfectly aligned, so these won't fit in properly. i386, I got a Western Digital that is going bad. It's under warranty. It was external. I hope they still honor the warranty. I took the drive out of the case. Generally, no. If you have an external hard drive and you take it out, you're actually breaking that warranty seal, then no. They probably will not honor that, which is really a shame because honestly, a lot of people, that's the only way you can get the data off those. And it's not usually the hard drive I've seen on those that go bad. It's usually the controller board that's actually taking the information from the hard drive and transferring it to the computer. So I don't know. You may want to go ahead and contact Western Digital first, ask them, and do it anonymously because you don't want to hurt your chances. Like maybe if you send it in to them and you can make it look like it wasn't taken apart, then maybe they'll go ahead and accept it. But just be careful. They're picking up our garbage. I can hear it. You see Milo? You see Milo there? Yeah. He's anything outside. That cat is just looking. I'm telling you. Set up an RMA, going to send it anyway. Give it a try. It's always possible. I'm telling you. Maybe somebody will be off their game, and even if it does look like it was opened up, you know what? You never know. Let's see, I think we got a comment here. East Anglia, UK, first viewing of the thrift store vlog. Man, I hope you guys really enjoy those. I try to do as many of those as I can. Yesterday, it was just kind of the perfect day to do it because there weren't a lot of people in the thrift store, which is kind of odd because it was the 25% off customer appreciation day. But if you want to look at any of the other items that I picked up yesterday, other than this, just go ahead and watch that video. I believe I got everything in there except for a keyboard and a mouse that I picked up once I already wrapped up the vlog. It was on the way home. But other than that, everything was in there. And yeah, I mean, it worked out pretty well yesterday. Now, this time of year is always good for thrift store hunting because it's tax season. And I've said this before. During tax season, excuse me, turn off this keyboard before Milo ends this live stream prematurely. So anyway, during tax season, a lot of businesses will be upgrading their IT equipment. They get the tax refund in. They don't know what to do with it. Generally, it goes to the administrator, the system administrator, and they'll go ahead and buy either all new computers or they'll start changing out some of the older ones. And what generally happens with those computers is they'll be donated either to a company that takes them and, you know, wipes the data and pallets them up together and sells them, kind of like the one that I bought in Tappahannock a few weeks ago, or they just get donated directly to the thrift stores. And that's what I've seen for many years. So if you are doing the same thing that I am, this is the time of year to do it, folks. There have been times in the past where I was, strapped for cash, and I actually, knowing that this time of year was this good, I actually just want to put it on a credit card. Now, I don't recommend maxing out your credit card or, going into massive debt, but you do have to spend money to make money. I36 says they want you to pay for their data recovery service. If your data is that important, you may have to do that. But remember, level 2 data recovery, which is basically anything where the drive is not readable or it's partly readable, but the data is scattered. You're looking anywhere between $500 to $1,500, and it just goes up from there. So you have to decide how important that data is. If it's not all that important, I would say just forget about it. Just have them re-RMA that drive. The vegan athlete is here. All right, the vegan athlete. I guess since you're here, I should probably do a health update. I got on the scale this morning. With my clothes on, I was 213.5. So realistically, they say you probably have about 3 pounds of clothes on you, 2 to 3 pounds. So I would say my real weight now is somewhere between 210 and 211, which is good. I wish it was lower. I'll be honest with you. I have it in my sights. I see that 200, that 200 goal, and I see it happening, but it's slow. I mean, no matter what I do, and I have been religious with my lifestyle change. I've been fasting. I do eat some sweets here and there, but nothing to where it would be considered overindulgent. But sometimes some of us just weigh a little bit more, and there's really nothing you can do about it. It's kind of genetics more than anything. Oh, good. You got the data. And I386 says there is nothing around here. No thrift stores have any computers. Okay. In your case, then, you may want to look at eBay. As I've said in the previous vlogs, I've done this several times. I've bought pallets of computers on eBay, and I can get as good of a deal and sometimes even a better deal doing that than I would going to the thrift stores. And you can find them locally. You can use eBay's algorithm and say, okay, I'm only looking for pallets of computers, pallets of like Dell Optiplexes, 50 miles away or less. So you can actually weed it down into pallets that are close to your house, so you don't have to pay for the shipping. If you have to pay for freighted shipping, then it's not usually worth it because that'll eat through all your profit almost immediately. But, if you can get it close enough, then that might be the way to go. And, maybe even when you get there, you can, because you're going to need keyboards, mice, monitors. And a lot of these places that are selling pallets computers, think about it, also have things like keyboards, mice, monitors. So when you go there, try to make a deal with them to, buy as much as you can. That way you don't really have to rely on local sources. Crystal Disk showed bad sectors. Western Digital Diagnostics full test will not complete. Gives a message about bad sectors. Okay. So if Crystal Disk info shows bad sectors, then there's definitely a problem, though. Crystal Disk is really, really progressive. In other words, I've scanned drives with Crystal Disk info, and Crystal Disk declared them cautionary or even bad, and the drive really wasn't. But if it's a Western Digital drive and using the Western Digital Diagnostics and it couldn't fix it and it found bad sectors, then yeah, it's definitely a bad drive. The vegan athlete, you're doing great, man. I'm so impressed by your overall weight loss. When I look at your old videos, I'm in awe. I appreciate that. There are days that I definitely need that boost, because there are days that I still want to overeat. It's a lifelong battle. People think it gets easier. It really doesn't, folks. It might at a point where, like, I don't feel like I can't physically overeat now. Like, if I ate the way I used to, I would get sick and I couldn't even keep the food down. But there are times where I want to eat more than I should. You just got to kind of weigh the pros and cons and find that nice little balance. And do I treat myself? Yes, I actually do treat myself on a daily basis. But instead of grabbing like 2 or 3 or 4 donuts like I used to, or going to McDonald's and picking out on steak, egg, and cheese bagels, I eat stuff like this: dark chocolate, organic if I can afford it, and pretty much natural. And believe it or not, there is a difference. This is actually good for you. This tastes good and is good for you. I was actually watching Super Size Me, which was that documentary on the fast food industry. But this guy did it back in 2003, where for 1 month he ate nothing but McDonald's, and he was perfectly healthy. He was 6 feet 2 inches tall, 185 pounds, so very, very thin individual. So about halfway through this challenge, and I should say that if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth watching. You can actually watch it on YouTube Movies for free. Basically, he would eat 3 meals a day. I don't believe he snacked or anything like that. But if he did, the rule was everything had to come from McDonald's. And it didn't have to be the same things, though. Generally, he would choose things like the Egg McMuffin, the Big Mac, the Quarter Pounder, stuff like that. So halfway through, we're talking about 15 days through, that's just a little over 2 weeks, he went from 185 pounds to 205 pounds. He gained 20 pounds. He was a perfectly healthy individual, no problems. And halfway through, when he went back to have the second blood test, because the doctors were checking his blood once a week, the doctor said he had fatty liver disease. That's right. He had, in and of effect, pickled his liver. The same thing that takes alcoholics years to do. He did it in 2 weeks, folks. 2 weeks of just eating McDonald's food. That's why, and that's why I'm so passionate about this. You guys know that I'm a passionate person anyway, but when it comes to the fast food industry out there, this gets me aggravated. And I know we're off topic, but this is something that needs to be said. People, if you are eating fast food for every meal during the day, 3 days a week, you are killing yourself. I mean, you are. I mean, there's no debating that anymore. They fill this food with so much garbage, salt, sugar, fat, because they want it to taste good. They want you to come back. They want you to be hooked on this food. They definitely will not say that's why. They're going to go ahead and sidestep the issue, and they've done that for years. But the truth of it is, if you do eat fast food, make it once a week at most. Me personally, I won't eat it anymore. I don't touch it. Ever since I heard that, now I'm actually ashamed that I ate it as much as I did. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, even when I was really heavy, I didn't eat it a lot. But there was a time in my life that I would eat McDonald's maybe 2 or 3 times a week, breakfast usually. I was a big fan of breakfast, never really cared much for the burgers. But just remember, folks, what you put in your body is of vital importance. And when it comes to nutrition in fast food, it's just no nutrition there. It's sugar, it's fat, it's salt, it's garbage. I3 said, could not eat McDonald's every day, but a cheeseburger is good once in a while. Yeah, and I'm not saying that you can't have a cheeseburger once in a while, but go to a restaurant. If you're going to splurge on a cheeseburger and really enjoy it, if you're doing it maybe once a week or once a month, go to a good restaurant. Heck, find yourself a local cafe that specializes in like gourmet burgers or something. Yes, you're going to pay a little bit more for it, but if you're only doing it once a month or twice a month, what does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the food, enjoy it, and know that it's not going to be damaging your body. It absolutely amazed me when I saw that. People have been telling me for years to watch that documentary, Super Size Me. And when I was really heavy, of course, I didn't want to do it because I knew I was killing myself. I mean, I knew that there was a time when it was going to be the point of no return. And I thought, honestly, I already passed that point, but I got lucky. The man upstairs wanted me here for a reason. And I think that reason is to tell everybody my story, tell them, where I was, where I came from, what I had to do to get to this point in my life. Oh boy. Oh yeah. If you saw that video when I bought this computer, the Dell XPS 8700, which was, I think, back in 2014. Yeah, that was close to my heaviest. I was probably nearing 400 pounds at that point. All right. Apparently, some people can't behave themselves on this channel. It's such a shame, I tell you. Now, you're only doing yourself a disservice. I'm going to be honest with you. I know, right? Yeah, people are going to try. They're always going to try. Okay, so getting back on topic here. SSD prices, and we're going to move back into technology. I'm sorry, folks. I know I got on a little bit of a rant there, but after I finished watching a documentary last night, and it really touched me profoundly. SSD prices. So I've been reading several articles. One was in the Washington Post. I think the other was in the was from the Wall Street Journal. And they're all talking about how prices of SSDs are going to increase. Now, I will tell you that solid state hard drives have always been higher in price than conventional drives, and they still are to a point. You're going to get to that point where they're going to kind of meet in the middle. But what's happening now is the coronavirus, or COVID-19, is causing a lot of shortages in the supply, and primarily from China. That's where a lot of our parts come from. That's where a lot of the drives come from. And because a lot of these shipments are being stopped, they're afraid of these shipments being infected with COVID-19. That is causing the price of a lot of consumer goods to rise. And that's something that we really need to think about. Now, if you are doing what I do and you're refurbishing computers, there are still some good deals to be had. Best Buy still has the PNY CS 900, the 240 gig SSD drive for around $34.99. And that's going to be good at least until next week, as Best Buy actually renews their ads every Sunday. Yeah, new ad on Sunday. So if you need these SSD drives, make sure you go and pick them up, because the prices will be rising. Now, the ADATA ones that I actually had, they're ADATA SU635s, another 240 gig SSD. Actually, I prefer them over the PNY CS900s. They have slightly better read and write speeds, but the price has gone up, folks. Those were also $34.99 through Best Buy and eBay. Now those have gone up to $38.59. However, it's still a really good deal, and I would highly, highly suggest picking up either one of those, because there really isn't a noticeable difference in the speed between the two. But I will say that I think I trust the ADATA one a little bit more than the PNY drive. Just looking at the build quality, I would say that the ADATA drive is a little bit more solid. And the ADATA also has the 3D NAND, where I don't believe the PNY is 3D, and that's probably the difference in the slightly faster read and write speeds. And we're talking about read and write speeds. I mean, we're talking about maybe a 10 to 15% increase between the two drives. Me too, Mr. Jimmy. I would like to see the day where SSDs and hard drives are about the same price, but you got to remember, it's a lot more expensive to make a solid state hard drive. Cassette Master says hi. Hey, Cassette Master. Get my keyboard out here. I'm doing all right. Doing well today. Going to have to end. What time are we at right now? I'm going to be ending this at 30 minutes because we do need to get ready. We got to head out and get those real IDs. And remember, folks, if you're going to be flying, make sure you go to your local DMV. If you're here in the continental United States, get your real IDs, because that is going to be a problem in the future. My cousins are planning a family cruise to Bahamas and Dominican Republic in October. I'm a little concerned. I will wait a few months and see how the virus goes. Yeah, that's another thing. They're talking about, and I don't want to freak anybody out here, I'm just stating the facts. They're talking about it possibly next week being considered a global pandemic. And it doesn't sound as bad as it's not as bad as it sounds. Basically, it just means that every major continent is being affected by the virus. Now, it's all going to depend, of course, on how good the quarantine and the containment is in each specific country. Being here in the United States, I feel pretty good about it. I know that the CDC does a really good job, and if you take your precautions, you got to remember, folks, this virus only has, I think last result or last test said it was like a 15 to 20% communicability rate, which means it's pretty low. I mean, the flu is higher than that. The average normal, like whatever they call it, the flu that we get each year is more like 30 or 40%. So this is pretty low on the communicability scale. And if you take the right precautions, you wash your hands a lot, you try to stay healthy, you get in as much exercise as possible, your chances are good, even if you do get it, that you can overcome it quickly. The most vulnerable people, children and the elderly, same thing as with the flu. But the best thing to do is take a prayerful watch and wait stance, coming from what was that movie? Blast from the Past. Christopher Walken said that when he thought the Cuban Missile Crisis was going to end the world. Mom and Dad and the cats are doing great, though. Milo is really looking to go out, and I gave him every opportunity. I told him to get out, and he wouldn't get out. So, yeah. You guys hear him? What you doing, buddy? Oh, here he is. Here's my. What you doing, bud? What you doing, buddy? One cat that does not usually like to be held, and I think it's no exception today. Hey, bud. Good boy. Yeah, I know. I probably should have shut the window. We don't usually have this much outside noise here in the morning. Well, what are we at? We got about 30 seconds left. So anybody want to say anything to Milo? Anybody want to give a thumbs out or a super chat for Milo? You want to give Milo a super chat so I can buy you some kitty treats? Super chat will let you buy him some good kitty treats. Yeah. We're running low on cat treats, aren't we, my? Oh, isn't he sweet? He's a good boy. Okay, go on. He wants to get down. Woo! Yeah, Y2K wound up being pretty much nothing, but they really didn't know because a lot of the computers were not Y2K compliant, but that did not necessarily mean that they were going to fail. The worst thing that was going to happen was it just wouldn't be able to keep the date. I mean, I have some older computers. My Commodore 64 isn't Y2K compliant, but I mean, it still works to this day. All right, everybody, that is it. Thank you for coming to the live stream. If you have not yet done it, please check out my vlog from yesterday, those of you that like the thrift store hauls. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.